Yeah, hitting switches, making things happen. Wow, I'm excited.
All right, we are live.
Oh, probably shouldn't just be sharing this. Okay, sweet. We are live. Awesome. 8 watching already. Wow, this is incredible, y'all. I'm just grabbing the YouTube links right now so that we can get a lot more people up in here. And let's get it going. As you all watch me paste things into our announcements. Great.
Apologies if I'm sniffling and coughing a little bit. I'm getting over a gnarly cold that I caught at the NFT event in the city.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, no worries, man. That's
Yeah,
dedication.
we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide.
It's just dedication. Awesome. Can you all see the slides?
Yeah, but you may want to
Yes.
present by them.
This weekend.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for showing up. This is the Player Mint Town Hall number 12. We're kind of getting back into it after we did our NFT mint a few Saturdays ago now. But for those of you that don't know, we took a little bit of inspiration from Project Catalyst, the wonderful, extension of Cardano that's kind of reaching out into the Voltaire era. And they do a weekly town hall series where they essentially present updates, give wonderful members of the community a place to chat and present, and overall just have a great experience. So that's kind of what we're doing here today. We got Grant, we got myself, we have Michael, and then we have the random troll. So we have a great presentation set up for y'all today. Let's hop on into it. Number 12.
Everybody, my name is Grant Scholl. You may know, but I'm the Chief Executive Officer here at the team that's building Player Mint. Anybody that I saw at the NFT NYC event, it was a pleasure to meet you guys. We had an awesome Cardano meetup and got to meet a lot of people in the community face to face, and that's always an awesome experience. But yeah, back on the grind, and we got a lot on the plate and a lot coming, so I'm jazzed.
Yeah, and I'm Aiden Rank Williams. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Player Mint. My kind of, I guess, little intro is I've been a gamer for a long time, back when my uncle gave me a PlayStation 2 with like Crash Bandicoot and Star Wars Battlefront, all that fun stuff, and just kind of carried that gamer passion with me. And then up into 2017, Grant, I was hanging out with Grant. He's like, yo, man, you got to check out this cool thing. And after spending 3-4 hours digging through YouTube and watching, Charles Hoskinson present on a TEDx talk, we got real deep into crypto in 2017. And then eventually in 2018, decided to start creating Player Mint, which was originally how can we allow people to wager Bitcoin and Ethereum on games of Call of Duty, and then kind of morphed it into what it is today. Yeah, and then I got an intern for Emergo back in 2019, which was cool to kind of see how an established blockchain business functions. But hopping on into it, we got a great agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with MLabs and where our next steps are in terms of the core product. The Mind Test community server is becoming absolutely amazing. We just concluded our mod submission contest. We're about to announce the winner, who's going to walk away with a bit of ADA. Jump into the Rocket League tournament, which I'm sure people are pumped for. It's actually going to be in a week from today. So in quite literally 7 days from now, we're going to be rocking on some Rocket League and having a great time. The random troll is going to cover a little bit of verification bot stuff. Michael Walker is going to be covering a little bit of the founder airdrop stuff. And I think Grant is going to be jumping into some of the Shadowlands. So we have an amazing town hall for y'all today, and I'm super excited to be sharing it with you all. So first things first, MLabs product specs. For those of you that don't know, we are working with the amazing group out of the called MLabs, and they are kind of a Haskell-based consultancy company that has a lot of experience. They've worked on projects like Liquid, and they've worked closely with IOHK and the Cardano Foundation, and they have direct lines of communication. So really cool stuff. Grant and I are currently in as you can see up here, we're in a Discord chat with 5 other of their members. The 3 that I'm going to bring up to mention, there's a few more, but unfortunately their images weren't on the MLabs website, is Mark, who's their CEO, And I messed up with a bit of a typo here, but the person in the middle is Ben. They're a partner. And then the person on the right here is Nathan, and they're a consultant. So they've been an absolute pleasure working with. My apologies, Ben, for not typing in your name there. But they've been super wonderful and really easy to communicate with. And in terms of next steps that we're taking with them is we're going to have a collaboration call with some potential parties that might be interested in incorporating PlayerMint technology and us using their technology in terms of how we can create some really cool applications for you all in terms of the core products. We're going to see how those conversations go and what we can do. And then depending on how those conversations go, we'll have a presentation from MLabs mid next week, where they're essentially going to take the information from the collaboration calls, incorporate it into their spec documents, and then essentially say, okay, hey, here's what the roadmap looks like in terms of the week by week build. Here's how many devs it's going to take. Here's how much it's going to cost. And so we have some general ideas now, but that'll get down onto the nitty gritty. So we'll have a lot more information to share with you all mid next week on the core product front. In terms of the mind test server, this has been super, super fun. I want to give a massive shout out to Paul, Job, and the rug pull enthusiast. These are 3 members of the community who stepped forward and just have a lot of knowledge, either in kind of the Minecraft mind test world of servers and how to create a functional, enjoyable landscape and community, or they just have great knowledge in open source coding and are really willing to put in a good bit of effort. So in terms of next steps, this mind test community server is kind of what you could consider like the alpha version of Cardano Craft. What we're going to do is use Edgy1 hosting solutions, which we're actually going to be able to pay ADA to their founder in order to host a mind test server that'll be completely covered by PlayerMint, and we'll all be able to jump into that. And then we are holding a mod submission contest that just closed up, where we have brilliant mods. For example, Alsdium in the community shared one that I'm super happy about, which is where we can take 3D renders of builds inside the mind test server, and then those 3D renders can then be put into something like NFT Maker, and we can mint them into NFTs and do other cool projects like that. There's a lot of great other mods that have been submitted. So we're going to compile a list in terms of next steps. We're going to compile a list of all the mods we want. We're going to bring that up with the 3 team members that you see on the left. And then we're also going to bring that up with the founder of the Edgy1 hosting solutions, and essentially compile that list of mods, launch the server, and then we'll all be able to have a good bit of fun in it. I'll be sure to create some tutorial videos on how to download and install Mindtest, and then how to get on that server. So a lot of fun stuff to come. I'm super excited to share this, but we should have this server pretty much up and running, I would assume early next week or sometime next week, and we can jump in there and maybe have a nice fun event. Rocket League tournament, as you all may know, we're doing something with Crypto Cujo and Gaming Cardano, hosting a great Rocket League tournament on the 20th at 2100 UTC. So this is going to be a free for all. Anyone's able to join in. It's going to be duos. So grab a buddy, grab someone that can carry you to victory. That you're going to have a fun time with, and we'll hop in. We'll provide all of the information necessary to get started. If you want to register, just head over to the PlayerMint Discord, head over to the registration channel, and then say competing with at the username of the Discord username of the person you're competing with, and you'll be good to go. In terms of prize pool, I just wanted to make it pretty clear. This is open to everyone. However, if you win, meaning you place in first, second, or third, you will actually receive additional benefits. So if anyone's allowed to enter, and if the first, second, or third place person wins but doesn't own a founder NFT, they're just going to be walking with the standard prize pool, right? So Gaming Cardano threw up a derp bird. So if you win, you'll be walking with some derp birds and some other NFTs. However, if you win and you also own a founder NFT, you're going to be walking away with that standard prize pool of NFTs plus a bit of ADA. So you'll get a bit of a utility boost from owning a founder NFT there. And other than that, I think I'll pass it over to the random troll for a bit of speaking on the verification bot and anything else they want to bring up.
Thank you for that. So before I begin on the actual speech on the verification bot, I want to give a bit of a backstory as to how I came up with actually making that. Basically, it all started with me being really frustrated that a week has passed, 2 weeks have passed, and there was still no option for people who don't use Nami. And after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do something on my own. And I made a very little mock-up. I showed it to Grant, I showed it to Aiden, I showed it to members of the Discord, and they all said, go on, go into it. After that, Aiden gave me a really, really good question, which is, how are you going to verify that this wallet belongs to this user? And I was like, that's a very good point. And next thing you know, I'm already like 3 weeks into this project, and I'm still working on it. So when it comes to the verification bot itself, right now it's in a state of it's a little bit of on hold because Aiden is currently supplying me with the VPS, which is going to be hosting the bot itself, because we need to run a Cardano node in order to check the transactions, and it's gonna be quite a toll on my laptop, because I'm not in my home country. I don't have my own personal PC, and I can't host that properly. So a VPS is a really nice alternative to what we are considering. And right now, I'm trying, while we're waiting on that, I'm trying to make small, slight adjustments to the bot to make it as easily scalable and as abstract as possible, meaning that, for example, right now Gaming Cardano are also in touch with us, and they also want a little bit of a slice of the bot. However, they have NFTs on their own. So what I'm doing is I'm making it in such a way so that you can set up the bot based on your own server's likings. And another thing which I'm working on is, because right now, and according to player mint policies, it's basically on a yes/no basis. Does this wallet have the NFT, or doesn't it have the NFT? Another thing which I'm considering is I'm also considering a way to add quantity. For example, if the user has 5 NFTs, give him the row A. If he has 10 NFTs, give him row B, etc., etc. And right now, while I'm waiting, like I said, I'm just working on small adjustments which are going to be beneficial for everybody who wants to use the bot in the future. And once we get the VPS set up, I can actually start doing some proper work on actually confirming transactions and things like that. And the flow for the verification is going to be slightly different. And once again, huge shout out to GI from the Discord community for recommending this idea to me. Basically, if you guys are unaware, Sunday Swap recently made a voting contest where the way you vote is you send a specific amount of Cardano to yourself, meaning that you don't have to worry about it being sent to an external wallet which could potentially rug pull you. You're just sending the ADA to your own wallet. And I'm actually considering making a flow very similar to that for the verification bot, meaning that you send the command that you want to verify yourself, and then the bot DMs you and asks you to give it an address which is going to be associated with your Discord account. After that, it's going to generate an arbitrary amount of ADA, which you have to send to yourself, and it's going to check for that transaction that you've sent it from a wallet to the same wallet. And once that transaction has been captured and has been approved that it's the exact amount, it will give you the respective roles. And over time, I'm going to store the information in some form of database so that I can do occasional checks, like every hour or so, whether every registered and every verified user still has that NFT in their wallet. And if they don't, tough luck, you lose your role. But yeah, this is long story short as to what my past with the bot is, my present, and my future plans. And if you have any questions, if somebody can read the comment section and forward them to me, that would be lovely. That's been the random troll. Thank you once again for your attention.
Cool. That was awesome. Really well done. Well, there might be comments over at YouTube, but I'm sure that everybody is interested in kind of like what the roadmap is, if you've thought about that at all, or like what the different development stages would be, or any info along those lines.
Well, if I have to be honest, I haven't really thought of that concise roadmap. I'm more like this feature needs to be implemented. I'm going to implement it as soon as possible. For example, right now we have the process with the transactions, and right now I'm doing this as fast as possible despite the circumstances. And in the meantime, I'm also doing like I said, these small changes which are for the benefit of everybody. And I can't specify a concise roadmap, but to those who are interested, I will keep live, like I'll publish live updates on Discord on the general channel, because I want to keep my road, like my workflow, as smooth as possible and as transparent as possible. And every uphill and downhill which I have, I'm going to share it with the community. I'm open to sharing my personal experience with the development of the bot, so that everybody knows, hey, he's that far. Hey, he has that problem. Hey, he's done that. Really nice. I can't estimate when it's going to be done, but I will make sure that everybody knows what progress is made on the bot.
Love it. Cool. Yeah. So follow the PlayerMint Discord, and you can see the updates from the random troll in there.
Yeah, and we'll add in a. I saw some people on the YouTube asking. We'll add a essentially like community builders kind of channel in terms of someone like the random troll or Michael Walker. We will be able to essentially have access to an announcements channel. Essentially, if they ever want to post updates or share, hey, I put this together. We'll make sure to have that today. So we'll have something up for you all today, and you can use that, and at Crypto Enthusiast or at Verified, wherever you want to see that message.
Sounds absolutely lovely. Cannot wait.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Want to go over to the next slide, Aiden? So we have some super exciting airdrops coming to the founders. So we're going to jump into that. The first one is going to be from Michael Walker at Cardano Chrome. If you could go to the next slide. We actually have Michael on today to speak a little bit about his own work as an artist, as well as the PlayerMint NFT that he helped create, and where that's at. And yeah, so we'll hand the mic over to Michael now, and make it so that you can share your screen. Cool. Yeah, take it away, Michael.
All right, one moment. It says I cannot share my screen until you stop.
There we go. That might be helpful.
All right, screen two, share. Sweet. All right, so let me get my notes up here. So I'll do a quick intro here. My name is Michael Walker, and I have been into computers from a very young age. The first NFT that I ever minted is right here, and that is me at age 5 on my dad's Trash 80. So, and you can also see that it's an error because I was not 5 in 1979. This actually says 1984 down here, but so yeah, the first NFT I ever minted, and I made a mistake. So, welcome to that. So I got into computers at a pretty young age. And then about 20 years ago, when I was in college, I got into photography, and college was kind of cool. Did some more photography stuff. And then I guess around, 2012 or 2010, whenever Bitcoin was about $20, I started mining Bitcoin with a couple of HD 6950s. And so I had probably, 6 Bitcoin that I minted in total during that time or so. And I think I sold most of it for like $20 Amazon gift cards back then. So, and then I had like, just leftovers and a couple of other mining wallets that I don't have access to now. So there's probably about another 2 or 3 Bitcoin floating around out there that'll never be spent, just because I don't have those keys anymore.
Thank you for the donation to the rest of us.
Yeah. So there's some lost, there's about, $120,000 of lost Bitcoin I'll never see. So at that point I was just kind of like done with crypto for a while. And then I started looking into it again. And I started looking into Cardano back at the end of February 2021. I was like, you know what, this Hoskins guy, he knows what he's talking about. He knows, he looks like he's building a pretty good product here. So I started looking into it, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go in on that. And so I started stacking Cardano back then. And then I started looking around and being like, this NFT thing might actually take off too. And so back at the end or the beginning of August this year, I started looking into NFTs, and you can see that's the beginning of August right there. This was minted 8.4, and I was like, okay, cool. I can actually do something. Maybe I could do something with my photography. So I was like, well, there's about 100 billion average photographers out there like myself. I got to do something special to kind of make myself stand out. So I got the idea for Cardano Chrome. But the problem was I didn't know 3D software. I didn't know how to make 3D anything. So I taught myself 3D stuff. I watched a good tutorial on YouTube and taught myself how to do Blender. And this is like the first 3D thing that I ever did, which was just a sort of short animation of a sword with "We are just getting started." And that was about the same time that all of that stuff with HR 3684 was going on. And, how they were starting to, throwing all that crap about crypto, taxing crypto and stuff. Yeah. So I was like, well, we'll just turn it into a nice little piece here. And I even put a little source link here to Shelby and Sausage when Hoskins was talking about how basically they'd woken a sleeping giant there. But so that was my first foray into 3D. And I was like, all right, cool. I can totally do this. That was 6 days later that I did that. And so I came up with the Cardano Chrome idea. And this is the website, cardanochrome.com. And you can kind of see one up here. But basically what I decided to do is kind of join my love of photography and my new love of 3D together to create these little 3D NFTs that are also augmented reality compatible as well. So you can go to cardanochrome.com and check those out. I've got a little chart down here where you can actually buy them over on Token, or if you just want to do the 3D views, you can do that. And this is one of the first edition Cabos. I'll go full screen on that. But you can see, got good detail on the photography and stuff still. So I'm pretty proud of this being my first project. I got some engraving on the bottom to kind of give you some more information about the piece, including the policy ID engraved on the piece, so you won't get scammed. This is the first edition with the first edition base, 20 total minted. So that was the first piece called Cabo, and I've got a few other pieces as well. All of them are engraved. All of them, this is number 2 in the series. They have the additions down there. I think around 4 or 5, I started putting little quotes on the bottom as well. But you can kind of go and check those out at cardanochrome.com. And you can kind of see as I started to get more and more into 3D, I started adding little features. I started putting little quotes on the bottom. And then actually somebody else came up with the idea of adding a little bit of glow on the bottom to make it a little easier to read the engraving and all that kind of stuff. I like this one. It's probably one of my favorite ones. It's called Power. It's pictures of barbed wire that I took, but you can see when the light hits it just right, it brings out a little more detail on the wire and stuff because you got a metallic sheen on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they're all kind of transparent, like a real slide, a 35 millimeter photographic slide would be. So a little quote from George Orwell on the bottom. We know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. So a little word for the wise there. And then these were all the first editions. And I was like, well, I want to make something that's a little bit more accessible to everybody else. So I came up with the idea of having essential editions, which are essentially the same artwork, just with an essential edition base. This base was actually inspired by an old coffee table that I have sitting next to me from the 1960s. And it also has the engraving on the bottom, 100 total minted with those. And like I said, you can go to cardanochrome.com and I've got links to all of those where you can get those if you want to. They're over on Token. And it's a little, each one of them has a GIF preview, but if you actually click on the GIF previews, then it takes a little while to load these up just because, they're like 20 megabyte files and stuff. And, but once they actually do, and I know patience is in really short supply, especially with everyone today, but if you have a little bit of patience, it will load up. And you can play around with it and stuff inside of Token.
That's so cool.
So that's Cardano Crew. And then I've got some collaborations that I've done as well. One of the collaborations I've done with Unimaginum is I took a painting of his and we did the same thing, gave it the 3D treatment. So you can actually come in on this painting and you see a little bit of the texture and stuff in the paint, in the canvas and stuff, in the wood grain. And then I put this light on the top of it, which if you actually put that in an AR space, that light actually has an effect on things. And then on the back, I just put a little plate that said, artist by Unimaginum. Here's his website, 3D artist here. And then of course I've got the policy IDs. This is before smart contracts came out. So the way we decided to split this up was that he got the first 6 and I got the last 3, or what was it, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 of them. So it was kind of a little split between us, but I've got the policy IDs also engraved on the back of those so that you don't get scammed. So if you check policy IDs. So yeah, that was like my first collaboration. And then the second collaboration I did was with the guy, CryptoShock, which he's been around the internet since the internet was the internet. And he created a really cool Cardano knot painting. And I'll just go ahead and play this real quick. And of course, nice seamless loop. But yeah, he did the music and he did the background with the Cardano knot and stuff. Only thing I did was the moon, but it was really fun to do. That was really cool. Let me mute that again. So yeah, that one's, I think that's up on token as well. But and then Cardano sabers or crypto sabers. So this was a one of one piece. There's only one Cardano crypto saber out there, and it's already gone. I auctioned it off when token came out with auctions, and it went for like a mere 50 ADA. So somebody got a really good deal on one of these pieces. But I had the idea to start doing a crypto saber for each cryptocurrency. So the next one that I'm actually working on now is Bitcoin, but this is the Cardano one, kind of a cool little lightsaber loop. So as you can see, my 3D skills started to progress. And I started trying some new stuff. And that was back in October, beginning of October, when I finished that one off. So let's close all that out. And I will bring in what we are working on next, a little bit of a preview on what the Bitcoin crypto saber is going to look like. This is just a test render, but yeah, it's a little samurai sword. Since Bitcoin was like the first successful cryptocurrency, I wanted to kind of go back and be like, well, what would before a lightsaber look like? You know, you had to actually have a physical blade and little nuclear fission chamber or whatever in there. I don't know. I kind of got creative with that, but on to the player mint stuff, right? So I guess back at the first AMA, I kind of talked about doing this, and I just kind of got, anybody who has like a player mint pass, let's do an airdrop for them. And so I started working on it back then and just kind of started, I'm still learning all of this 3D stuff as I go. I'm still learning as an artist. And so it took me a while to kind of get everything. It took a while for me to get everything together. And I finally did it. This is the final render. This is what's going to show up in your wallet if you have a red or a green or a purple pass. So here it is. We've got a nice little Atari 2600 controller in there. We've got the player mint logo, and it's just going to sit there and loop. But then we got some PMX coins flying in. So that's it. That's what's going to show up. So that's all I've got, guys. Thanks for having me on.
So cool. I really love the saber. I'm gonna bid on the Bitcoin saber. So let me know when that is.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys want to know, I'll put an update over on Twitter. I've got a Discord as well. You can find out all of that stuff on my website, cardano.com. I have little social buttons up there if you want to follow me on Twitter or come on over to the Discord.
So cool. I mean, you picked up Blender super fast. I mean,
really
that's
fast.
So cool.
Yeah, I've got a section on my Discord that has all of that stuff. I'm gonna just drag it over here real quick. So I've got little sections. Okay, got it. I've got little sections here. 3D modeling. I've got the exact tutorial. If somebody wants to go learn Blender, this is the first tutorial I did. It's excellent. It's like 3 videos. Go learn something. It's awesome. I've got other things that I'm learning, GLB files and all that kind of stuff. I had to pick up Cardano's CLI, Cardano, the command line,
Yeah.
in order to mint the Cardano chromes, because nobody could actually take files that big. So I taught myself Cardano CLI. I got all that stuff. If you want to watch those videos that I used to learn it, you can go on to my Discord and I'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has if they want to learn. So
cool. Yeah, we'll drop the link for people to go check out the Discord if they want to learn it.
Yeah, I'm blown away. My cheeks hurt because I've been smiling so much looking through all of that. Like, holy crap. The talent is just absolutely there. That I love that you told the story of like, hey, this is how I started as a child working on computers, and then went all through the process of like, this is how I started going about minting NFTs and getting into the space. And I just love the idea that it's like, well, the standard solutions couldn't allow me to build the things I wanted to. So I just went off and learned how to do it myself. Like that's,
yeah, totally.
What a cool mentality.
Yeah. So the Cardano Chrome / PlayerMint NFT wallets that have a green and purple founder inside. So we're going to get to work on that, and super excited to get that to you guys, and also see Michael grow as an artist.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, guys, so much.
Yeah. So let's be sure to get when we create the community builders channel, announcement channel, the Random Troll and Michael Walker, we'll be sure to get you all both in there. If you all want to say, hey, little intro post, this is what I'm doing. And you want to share, if you got a Twitter, if you got a Discord, if you got a website, if you want to share any of that type of stuff, both of you have more than deserved it. So once that's up, feel free to do an @ whoever you want post and really get people into your Discord or whatever it may be.
Cool. Thanks.
We'll keep that in mind.
Could you share your screen again, Aiden?
Of course. Let's get this going. All right. Is that coming through?
Yep. If you go back one slide real quick. So we've been talking with Sixth Streeter, and he's also been talking with a number of people in the Discord. But we're moving forward with helping him produce the Shadowland card game. And we're super excited to say that there's going to be dragons, purple and green founder dragons, that are being airdropped to all of the founder wallets. And then from there, if you guys would like to participate in helping us peer review the game and perfect all the mechanics, we're going to have like an open collaboration channel for people to check out the white paper and perfect all of the little game mechanics and tokenomics and everything. But super excited about this. If you want to go to 2 slides next. So Shadowlands is a PTE card game on Cardano, so play to earn card game. Sixth Streeter couldn't be here because it's very late at night for him, but I'm sure he'll be around to answer questions. But we've got some really cool cards that will be in the packs that you'll be able to mint, and the founders are going to get those exclusive dragon drops really soon. We're working on setting up the wallets to airdrop those. So we'll have some more information on this. Like the next step will really be the founders helping peer review and collaborate a little bit on the project before we take the next step with Shadowlands. So super excited about this. Like, yeah, we'll have a lot more information soon.
Awesome. So I think without further ado, if anyone over in the YouTube land has a bit of a question or comment or suggestion or things they want to say, I'm staring at the chat right now. So if you have a question for myself, Grant, Michael, or the Random Troll, feel free to throw it down in the chat and we'll read it off. If not, I'm sure we'd all be more than happy to chat more in the Discord server or on Twitter, wherever it kind of works best for you all. So I'll let things catch up on the YouTube live stream. But if you're seeing this and you want to ask a question, feel free to write down something. I'm super pumped to learn more about Shadowlands personally. I know folks that were with us on the AMA yesterday got to hear from him and the amazing stuff that they're doing. And I mean, how cool would it be to have a play to earn card game, and then, you know, you slap down your player mint purple or green, you know, founder dragon. Like, how cool would that be? Like, we're gonna have the player mint inside of an actual Cardano based video game. Like, that's so epic. And we can't wait, because, you know, amazing stuff is going on. So I'm gonna take a quick peek at the chat. Grant,
And
I don't know if you
we'll
have
have Sixth Streeter Rick on one of the, you know, we'll get him, we'll make it probably, yeah, the usual town hall time is not ideal for him because he's out in Thailand, but maybe we could just do an interview and post that to YouTube or something.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. And we have our first question here. What range of game genres are you looking, as there are many play styles to cater for? From Jonathan Popworth. So Jonathan, in terms of what range of game genres we're going to cater towards on the launch pad, with the amazing things that like Michael Walker is minting and Sixth Streeter is minting, we will kind of support any project of the quality that you got to see today from both of those individuals. We're happy to work with essentially anyone through the Player Mint Launchpad that is all about essentially kind of sharing in the community core values that we're all about, in terms of let's build community tooling, let's help each other out, let's be open, let's create permissionless software that we can all enjoy. So that launchpad is really open for anyone. So if anyone wants to mint NFTs, if anyone wants to create a game, if anyone needs help in the Cardano space, the launchpad is there for you. In terms of what games we're going to support on the kind of core product play to earn side of things, we're going to start off with more of the competitive style video games. Is that skill-based performance is easier to, you know, track. For example, it's easier to track in Call of Duty multiplayer as opposed to like the Call of Duty campaign, because in the campaign you're dealing with a single player interacting with essentially AI as opposed to other players. So we're going to cater more towards those competitive games. We're actually, Grant and I have a call later today where we're going to look over Overwolf stuff and see what APIs we're going to jump into. But games, for example, like your Rocket Leagues, your Warzones, your Valorants, your Split Gates, kind of those player versus player-esque games. And then as we move on, we'll jump more into other games as well. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do something like League of Legends, throw it in there. But in the beginning, it's going to be more so like action games with a bit of combat involved.
Yep. We'll have a play to earn layer on top of really, really big games like Fortnite and Warzone. Those games are obviously more difficult to integrate directly into the game, as in like tokenizing items in the game rather than just having a layer. So with the really, really big games, we'll have a play to earn layer, and then other games that cover a very, I mean, whatever genre we think would be a good blockchain game. Really, anything is possible in that front.
Awesome. Yeah, and we have another question from Gilham Kohler. I was not aware of the card game. This is not you doing it right. This is another gaming play to earn on Cardano, for which we will have a dedicated card. So yes, but this is something that Player Mint is not building itself, but rather an amazing member inside of the Player Mint community is building this. And we have this thing called the Player Mint Launchpad, which is essentially if you're doing anything inside of Cardano or inside of the Player Mint community, and you want essentially some level of help, assistant, community building, you know, kind of peer review, any of that kind of fun stuff, sharing of the community resources, you can go through this Player Mint Launchpad. So it's not directly like made by Player Mint, but rather it's going to be supported by it.
Yeah, we're helping him produce it, so we're basically the producer of it. So if you go back to the slides, the like deck game, so Sixth Streeter has produced all these different characters, and he's a huge Yu-Gi-Oh player and understands the mechanics of a game like this very thoroughly, and has shown that through all the documentation for the game that he has. And I really dig the graphics. So we're helping him take all of what he has there and combine that with our crypto resources, our development resources, our kind of know-how about how to produce a game like this from like a tech standpoint, and raising the required amount of funds, and everything around like production of making sure that it's a successful game. So that's our role in it.
Awesome. I'm gonna share my or stop sharing so we have a little bit more of a close up on the faces. Jonathan has another question asking, with the Rocket League tourney, is it? I also read that not all will be able to join, and is this correct? Essentially, due to the server regions, so anyone is allowed to join in on the tournament, whether you're from Australia or China, or you're in the United States or in Latin America, wherever that may be. Anyone's welcome. That being said, they're going to be the point where the servers are going to be hosted is going to be on NA East, meaning North America East. We've gone with that route because at least if we just take a quick look at the server insights regarding our Discord community, the majority of folks are kind of based out of North America. And then our thought is let's not do North America West, because if we do it on East, at least we can, it's a little bit more close to the Eastern Hemisphere. And then people inside of Europe can kind of join in without too high of a ping. So my apologies if anyone is kind of in a server region where they're going to have 200 plus ping trying to play in the Rocket League tourney. You're more than welcome to come on out if you'd like to. And then as we scale up and we're able to fill out tournaments. So for example, once we get to the point where we can have an NAE tournament and there's tons of participants, and then we will look in towards hosting ones in other server regions. So when we host a tournament, we'll have one for like North America, one for Europe, one for Asia, one for Australia, and we'll be able to kind of scale those up as our community grows. However, at the moment, it's just more so a matter of scalability and available resources. Because if we held like a Australia dedicated Rocket League tournament, we might only have like 4 or 5 teams in there. Whereas if we do one in NAE, we're able to grab a much larger audience. And then Jonathan's follow-up is but there are restrictions from country IPS. So if your internet, service provider is going to, it doesn't allow it, that can definitely be difficult. Or if just for whatever reason, the lag is too hard, my apologies. We'll definitely work on trying to, if there's a better server region that we can go for in future tournaments that will support the most amount of people, we're 100% open to doing it. So essentially we'll work on that, and we'll make sure that maybe we'll host multiple tournaments in the future, maybe one for the Western Hemisphere and then one for the Eastern Hemisphere, to make things a little bit more scalable for everyone. So we'll definitely put in the work to make that happen. And then in terms of the Rocket League tournament, we're also getting asked how many participants are we expecting. I think at the moment, I need to check today, but I think at the moment we already have something like 15 to 20 teams already locked and loaded, which means 40 individual players. We still have a week left to market it. So it's really only been marketed on Twitter once and then in the Discord server. So we're about to, this next week, have like a full marketing campaign. Gaming Cardano is going to post about it. Crypto Cujo is going to post about it. The casters for the tournament are going to post about it. And we're hoping to essentially get a full lobby of 128 teams. So look out for that. That'll be fun. And then Grant, I think I'm going to pass this one to you so that you can answer some questions as well. Ninth Ghost asks, how will PMX reward pools be split between multiple games that gets integrated with player mint? Will there be weighing method example based on number of players or type of game?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. We're going to weigh it. The idea now, and like everything else, we're open to the ideas from all of you guys, because our combined brain power is better than any one person's. But yeah, the idea is to balance it based off of how popular the game is, and how much action is flowing into that game, and then creating a balancing mechanism off of that.
Yeah, and so we'll probably create some sort of formula or equation that matches things like level of amount of people playing and consistency played and all that fun stuff, and then create some sort of equation that we can then publish, and then you all can kind of say, okay, hey, let me peer review this. Oh, we should modify this parameter X, Y, and Z. So
yeah, and we'll start with one game and like perfect the system with one game, and then from there move over to add another game. So we're not like coming out the gate with a bunch of different games, adding a bunch of complexity, but making sure that we get it correctly with the first one, and then have a clear plan to then add the second one. And then after we've had that clear plan of establishing the second one, then it'll become a much easier process from there, adding games, because we've kind of worked out the process. So
yeah, awesome. And then a question from our very own Josh. are the airdrops one per NFT or one per wallet? My kind of thought on that is there's a few ways we can go about it. We can either match supply. So for example, with the amazing 3D graphic that Michael Walker made, if we wanted to essentially make it so that there's 7,000 of those and then one for one, essentially we get minted, or there might be a little bit more interest in a supply scarcity. So what we could do is say, okay, hey, we're only going to mint 1,000 of them. And I think Michael, you'll have a lot of input on this because you were the creator of it. So I think we'll probably roll with what you think is best. But the other idea being you can make it so that you have a higher likelihood of, if we only minted 1,000 of them, depending on how many of the founder NFTs you hold in a wallet, that increases your likelihood of being selected. So if you can essentially think of your founder NFTs acting as entries inside of a giveaway. So then if you have 1,000 of these and you have 10 founder NFTs, that gives you 10 entries into a 1,000 NFT giveaway. So you have a higher chance the more NFTs that you own. So that there's kind of a few ways we can go about it, but I think it'll be really up to the artist in that case, which route they'd prefer to. So Michael, we'll kind of allow you to choose that based off of what makes the most amount of sense. But awesome. Do we have any other questions? Anything else people want to hear? More than happy to go over it. But yeah, I think this has been a really successful town hall, first one since the NFT mint. I'm glad to see so many people are in here kind of asking questions, getting engaged. We got one asking which airdrops. Grant, do you want to answer that one?
Which airdrops? What do you mean?
I think they're just kind of referring to maybe they came into the stream a little bit late.
Yeah, do you want to go to the airdrops slide?
Let's do it.
So we've got two airdrops. One is some amazing 3D art by Michael at Cardano Chrome. And you probably missed his introduction to everything that he's working on in his art career. But definitely go check out cardanochrome.com. We'll also, if Michael is cool with it, create content out of the presentation that he had today and post that for all of you guys to see. I mean, do we want to play the graphic?
I can do that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that would be great. Yeah, and then if I'll check for any last questions, but if there aren't any, I think that would be an amazing way to end the night or end the town hall. Wow,
there she is.
So cool. So that's the first one that's going out to the founder holders. And then if we go back to the other slide.
Let me stop sharing here.
Then we've got the Shadowlands, which is the play to earn card game that we've got kicking into motion. And if those two dragons at the bottom, and they're probably a little easier to see on the two slides back. So the founders are getting an exclusive green and purple dragon that you'll be able to use in the card game. So super, super cool. Rick did an awesome job designing those dragons. Even got the founder in the background there. So those are the two airdrops lined up, and we're kicking that into motion now. So
awesome. Yeah, and then I think we have one for you, Michael, and then we'll do one more question after that and probably call it. But Michael, people are wondering what you think in terms of the airdrop. Do you want it to be more entry based, like the number of founder NFTs you have act as entries in a giveaway, or do you want it to be more of like a one-to-one airdrop?
Yeah, so like my intention with this first one was to basically get everyone who's got a pass, depending on how many passes you have, you get one. So it's a one-to-one. If you got green or purple, doesn't matter. But so if you have, 3 greens and a purple, then you get 4 of them. So it's a one-to-one direct drop for this first one. But we were talking about a little bit today, both Aiden and Grant. I was actually thinking about doing just the 2600 controller as a 3D AR NFT. And that one we might actually do a little bit more limited. So
Yeah.
This first drop's everyone's gonna get one based on how many green or purple passes you have. So it's gonna be a direct 1-to-1 is what I'm thinking.
Cool.
That's awesome. Sweet. Thanks for answering that. And then these are the final questions because we want to let Michael Walker, the random troll, enjoy the rest of their days. But All's DM asks the MVP update. So we offered a little bit of an update on the core product a little bit earlier on, but the standard idea is speccing out of the core product is pretty much the last thing that needs to happen is we want to get our devs in front of some other potential collaborating projects and have them answer a few questions back and forth. And then they're going to take a day to incorporate those answers into the spec document. And then essentially mid next week, we're going to hop in a call. Grant and myself are going to hop in a call in MLabs, and they're going to present essentially the spec document, which is going to say, here's the smart contracts kind of architecture that we're going for. Here's how long it's going to take. Here's how many devs we're going to put onto the team. Here's how much it's going to cost, and then I'll give us kind of, we have general ideas of how much each of the answers to each one of those, but then this will give us kind of the more specific idea, and then we sign off on it, and then they go off to code base. That means that we have a GitHub up that anyone interested in kind of looking through that code base can really check out and enjoy. So that'll be super cool. And then Josh is asking, and I think maybe we'll call it after this, unless there's a super pressing question, would be, do we know the rarity of the dragons for the card game? I'd say, unless Grant, that's probably a question for Sixth Streeter, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to answer. But
yeah, the general idea is a 1-for-1 for the founders. So there will be 7,000 dragons. So then it'll be like based off of purple and green. So there'll be just the same amount supply match with green and purple. So then there's some really cool dynamics in the card games. So like it's somewhat like Splinterlands, where like if you have two cards, you can fuse them together and rank up a card. So we may also explore some cool collecting dynamic, like in-game collecting dynamics with the dragons.
So cool. I'm pumped. I'm pumped, at least that I can say. Awesome. Well, I think that's kind of that's town hall number 12 in a nutshell. I think we can call it there. I think we had a really fantastic presentation. Got to hear a little bit more about MVP, mind test, core product. Got to hear from the random troll on the verification bot update, which we're essentially just waiting on a Binance withdrawal, and then we're going to be good to go to pay for that VPS server and I get that verification up for you all. Michael Walker did an amazing presentation of almost the story of them becoming a 3D graphic design artist. And just the really cool. I really loved how you walked through step by step. So I think a huge round of applause and a huge thank you. If you're seeing this in the YouTube chat, a massive, massive thank you to Michael Walker and the random troll for coming on today. Fantastic presentations. And I think with that, we can bid everyone a wonderful rest of your day, and please enjoy your weekend.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.